one of the biggest mistakes we make is just muddying the waters and everything we do. We just make everything so complicated, don't we? What am I talking about? Stay with us. We're going to explain clear over clever.
I'm Cristy Code Red, and you're listening to Rebel Weight Loss and Lifestyle, where we believe food holds the power to heal or poison, and we believe our society has been misled regarding proper nutrition and weight loss. You're in the right place if you're looking for some straight up truth, because I'm here to shed light on the lies and brainwashing that has taken place over the past 5 decades. Thanks so much for listening.
Welcome back to another episode of Rebel Weight Loss and Lifestyle. I'm your host, Cristy Code Red, author, entrepreneur, retired professional boxer, being joined by Carrie Thompson. And I'm so excited about this podcast because I heard this in a meeting with James, my business coach, and Chris, my ad manager. And we were in a meeting and he said, listen, clear over clever any day. And I was like, clear over clever. Oh, I got to get with Carrie. We got to do a podcast about that.
I noticed, Cristy, the most times, that's not right. The most I see this is when people, 2 places. Number one, people write in to the help desk and they say, this is really it. Like they're upset with Cristy and they want a refund because the program isn't more complicated. Like we don't have books of things and slots and you know, you got to hang a tinsel off your left ear and you got to have one hand in the air and drink lemon tea. And we don't have any of that. And people they seriously want confusing, I think, because they think they're getting more for their money? And here's the second place I see it, Cristy: Facebook ads or social media ads with these programs. Have you noticed that? And if you ever click on the links, I sometimes do just to see what is out there. They're really confusing programs. You're like, I take a shake and then I half a day and then you save some and then you add Amish bread starter to it. I don't know what's happening.
Yeah, you know, weight loss is the most saturated industry on the planet, I think. And man, these companies have done such an incredible job of making things complicated. You know, it comes down to, and we could get into business marketing and we won't, but because we're going to keep this very simple, but it comes down to perceived value, and people don't understand how real food, water, and sleep. I mean, you should see the way they look at me, you know? And so we've got this saturated industry with these companies making billions with the B of dollars off of you by making these processes so complicated. So you think, well, the more complicated it is, the more it should work. And we have people just doing anything. I mean, Carrie, you have lost over 100 pounds and have kept it off for over a dozen years. And I know when you were, you know, close to 300 pounds, you tried everything.
Absolutely. And this even rang true as recent as last night at work. I'm working with a gal who's very sweet, but would like to lose some weight. And she had this whole thing worked out in her head that's complicated, convoluted. If I have popcorn, but I put kettle corn flavor on it, then I won't want sweets. But then she had no protein. She was starving. She went and grabbed a thing of ice cream out of the freezer and ate it. And I don't blame her. And I'm not being critical of her at all, but she had such a complicated idea behind eating instead of just bringing some taco meat, throw in some ranch dressing on it, you know, make some seasonings, a little bit of guacamole. Instead of just making it simple, she had it very convoluted, and she ultimately wasn't able to stick with it. And that's what we find, Cristy, is that when you make programs very confusing, even though people feel like they're getting a better deal, they don't stick with them.
Code Red, we claim you can lose, you know, in the challenge, in the 10-pound takedown, you can lose 10 pounds in 30 days without shakes, pills, diet foods, or exercise. You track your water, your weight, and your sleep each night. And why do we do that? We do that so that we can teach you and we can show you and we can prove to you that the water and the weight and the sleep all go together. It's the perfect storm. It's the perfect thing that has to mesh together or you won't lose weight. If you don't have your water in line, if you don't have your sleep in line, and if you don't get on the scale every day, you will not lose weight. You can't have one without the other. They all go together. And so we have you track this on a 30-day tracking sheet with a pen and a paper, old school, like this, and you hang it up on the refrigerator door or your bathroom mirror, and you track those 3 things. And then we have you follow a simple food list of what not to eat and what to eat. It's very simple. It doesn't go over every single food on the planet. It gives you exactly what you need to lose at least 10 pounds in 30 days, which the average weight loss is 12.2 pounds. And we give you 10 rules. That's it. It's so simple. And some of the rules are just repeating what's already on the food list, like don't eat bread. And the food list says don't eat bread. So really, it's not, and people, they look at us like they can't believe it, like a deer in a headlight. What? Wait a minute. What? It can be that simple? It really is that simple. Real food, water, and sleep with the 10-pound takedown. And you can lose 10% of your body weight with a customized program. Well, why 10% versus 10 pounds, Cristy? Because we give you your customized numbers that are exactly written just for you. And it's really, that's it. Like it's really not hard, sis. And people feel so good.
It's so easy. And I just don't, like I said before, I have had more than one ticket come into our help desk. People submit a ticket and they're like, it can't. And I'm like, just try it. They're like, but it can't. Like, it has to be, where's the lemon cayenne pepper? Where's the cabbage soup that I make 10 gallons of and eat whenever I'm hungry? Where's the pills I have to take in a certain order? Where's the shots people are taking now that are making them nauseated? Horrible nausea to lose weight. What a miserable way to lose weight. I mean, that's how people getting chemo lose weight. That's miserable. You don't want to do that. So,
I'm sorry.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
One of the best examples of clear over clever is weight loss surgery. And you are a weight loss surgery survivor. You created the weight loss surgery survivor bundle with the instructional videos, a whole video series, a whole supplement kit, everything you need from someone who has been through it. And we have gotten clever and found a way to bypass the stomach. We found a way to cut the stomach down to the size of a NyQuil cup. We found a way to squish a band around the stomach to where the stomach, we found a way to alter the human body in the stomach to bypass the stomach and go right to the intestines. There are different weight loss surgeries. I mean, talk about trying to get clever with your weight loss, and firsthand how that feels versus just being a clear path of real food, water, and sleep.
Cristy, they even have one where they stick a balloon in your stomach temporarily and blow it up. So you just can't eat as much. I know. Let me tell you what I got when I got weight loss surgery. I got a whole host of complications. Now, not everyone's that way. I talked to someone the other day that is just hell bent. Sorry, I shouldn't say hell bent, but heck bent on getting weight loss surgery. And I was like, I hope you don't have the complications I did, but you might. Speaking of clear over clever, Cristy, it reminds me of when I would teach nursing school. Excuse me. I used to teach nursing school. I taught at Texas Tech in El Paso. I've taught at University of Alaska. I've taught online. I've taught at Walla Walla Community College in Clarkston, Washington. So, I've taught a lot of colleges, and I would get new nurses, and they would brand new students, excuse me. And they would come to me and they would say, Mrs. Thompson or Miss Carey or whatever, depending on, in the South, they were a lot more polite. That's all I'm saying. Anyway. And they would say, I heard a grade 1 systolic murmur, and I heard this, and I saw this, and that's great assessment skills. And I commend them. But if you're trying to impress me, that's not going to do it. I'm glad you heard that. That's great experience. But the bottom line is, keep your care simple. It doesn't matter what the numbers are. It does matter what the numbers are, but you have to look at the overall picture. So let's keep it simple. What does your patient look like? When you talk to them, what do they sound like? When they sit and smile at you and look at you, do they seem clear? Like, what is going on? What are their symptoms? Just keep it really basic assessment. A basic assessment by a nurse that does a good job at it, Cristy, can save lives. But we muddy it up with, well, I heard this, and I wonder if it's the bile duct on the, and those things are important, but we have to nail the basics. And that's where I think a lot of people they want to do such a good job, and they're so sweet and they're so young.
They're so young, sis. They're so young. She goes, Carrie's like, I got a son older than this girl, I think the biggest example I've ever, well, I don't know, maybe not the biggest example. One of the best ones and ones that I'm going through right now is I've been in the health and fitness industry for 29 years. I've seen it all. I've been to gyms all over this world. I've been a personal trainer. I've trained celebrities. I've trained all kinds of people in all kinds of different ways. During my heyday, I think I had 9 different certifications of different types of group fitness. Let me tell you how complicated the exercise industry, the gym industry gets. And they have to keep doing this in order to keep selling you more memberships. Like, we have a blank area. We can do this. We have people standing on a Bosu ball, doing a barbell back squat. They really complicate these exercises. And even now, I'm going through my transformation journey right now. I'm 33 days from my comeback bodybuilding competition. After 20 years off the stage, I'm back on stage in a competition. And even now, I get DMs on Instagram, and people they think they're impressing me by asking me, like, what muscle does that, like, what is it? What's a pinpoint the tensor fascia lata that wraps around the front of the thigh? And I'm just like, oh my Lord, like, clear over clever. Just go in and do simple You don't need to muddy the waters. So 2 points to my statement. The first point is people just getting too complicated with exercise. And number 2, people are trying to use exercise as a way to address their weight problem, which is way overkill. You should not be worried about exercise right now if you have a weight problem. We work primarily, and we like to target, we love menopausal women in their 50s and 60s. That's my favorite age group to work with. And these ladies don't really care about going to a gym. They just want to quit hurting through their hands and their knees. And they want to be able to just, they don't want to ask for the seatbelt expander. These are simple ladies. They're not worried about the gym. And so thinking about exercise as a way to address your weight problem is not going to work. And it's just making things so complicated.
It's funny. I'll never forget when I very first started teaching. You came to my class and we were discussing how to format it, for the older gals. And you said to me, Carrie, this is really all the average person ever needs: a simple class 5 days a week, like, just to get toned, to get stronger. And again, we're not saying this is a part of weight loss, but I appreciate that you said that, because I think sometimes we get such complicated things and people don't believe me when they come to class. They're new. Couple came the other day and the husband's like, I need heavy weights. And I'm like, sir, if I know you're strong, but if you haven't worked out in a while, just stand there and do it. Like, there's no award at the end of the class who held the most weight. And he wouldn't listen. And guess what? They were probably so sore because they would not listen. They didn't come back. And that makes me sad, because they wanted to make it complicated when it's just simple. March in place, step up on the step down on the step. We're not doing fancy stuff,
It's been almost 20 years. It's been 18 years since I moved to New York City and I lived there for 5 years, 2005 to 2009. And I was training celebrities. And back then my rate was $150 an hour. That was New York prices. That was just back then. That's just what the going rate was. And that was like, whatever. And the problem with personal training, when someone's paying that much, is the personal trainer feels like he or she needs to mix it up all the time, come up with new ideas, keep their client excited, keep them engaged, keep them coming back for more. Cause you're a salesman and you're trying to get more, you're trying to get them keep coming back, and you want to make the workout fun. And that was so hard because we just needed to nail the basics every time my client came in. We just needed to do a push-pull hinge squat, and we didn't need to be standing on Bosu balls or jumping up on a tall box and yanking chains around the room and like, it's just, oh my Lord, people get so clever with exercises and you just don't need it. You only need it to keep your clients happy half the time, so they'll keep coming back.
And then they don't come back because they're hurting and they're sore because they did too much. Weight loss and exercise are not that difficult. I've seen some of these programs, Cristy, where you have to get your blood type. You eat according to your blood type. And I'm thinking, you mean I gotta go to the lab? I got to get my blood drawn. I got to pay out of pocket to find out what my blood type is. I mean, it's good information to have, but they just make it so complicated. I 100% agree with you.
I think people make their walk with Christ way too complicated. They think that they're going to, instead of just having a relationship with Christ and talking to Christ every day, waking up, sharing your heart, talking because he's your friend. He wants to be your friend. You don't have to change your voice tone. You don't have to lower your voice, or you don't have to start speaking like in the Bible, thou hath come to you in the name of the Lord. You just need to talk to him and be real and share your heart and be sincere with Christ. He wants to be your friend. But what do? We have to get into the certain posture. We have to, and I understand some people get on their knees out of respect for Christ, out of respect for God, as a respect. I'm trying to think of another word for it, and I keep repeating respect. But they throw their hands in the air, like we've all been there. But nothing's required when it comes to your walk with Christ. There's not a certain way you have to do it in order to pray, in order to praise, in order to come to him with your concerns, in order to thank him for the things that he's given you. But what do? Carrie, we complicate it. We change our voice. We change our words. We feel like we have to be in a certain room of our house. We have to be, nobody can be listening. And it's not what God wants, I think. Do you agree with me on this?
Yeah, I agree. I think that when we make it all about the rules and not about relationship, that's where we get into trouble. And I think people love to complicate religion and spirituality. They love it. They love to say, oh, I'm a Virgo, or I'm a this, and they just get into the rules. And it's like we as humans need to fight against that and just keep our spiritual walk simple. I agree with you.
How about, sis? I bet you know what I'm getting ready to say. How about when people try to make their water clever? They try to complicate just their water.
They really do. The other day, Anne-Marie had a birthday. She turned 13. She's like, Mom, I want one of those the CIRKUL bottles from Walmart, where you fill it up with water, then you drop a cartridge in. I guess that has, I don't know if it's carbon or flavor or what. It's just like, what? Just drink water, Anne-Marie. And people really get hung up on this in Code Red. And the other day, someone wrote to me, Cristy, this is the best one. Are you ready? I know you're going to know. Do I have to have alkaline water?
Oh,
no, Betty. No, Sally. No, Joe, you don't.
No.
What are you doing? I mean, people just make water. They want to make it complicated. I don't know if they think it'll help them get to their goal faster, but I do see this a lot in Code Red.
Yeah. And you just got to nail the basics. I think one of my favorite stories about water with you is the patient that was in the ICU years ago, smoking out the room. I think this is back when you could get away with that crap, smoking or whatever out the room of the ICU, but demanding a certain bottle of water. Like, wait a minute, you're in the ICU, you're on a ventilator. Like, I don't know. It was so funny.
Yeah, they literally have been, and again, no judgment, but they've been smoking their whole life. That's how they ended up there. And they're like, I really require bottled water. I'm like, honestly, friend, bottled water is it's the very least of your worries right now. But we see that a lot in the ICU. Like, can you put lipstick on mom? I'm like, I'm just trying to keep mom alive right now, not put lipstick on her. People want to complicate it because they think that it's going to be the magic they need to get the weight off. And it's just not the truth. Drink it out of the hose. I don't care.
Yeah, for real. And people complicate their food. They really try to get clever on their food. They just pick single ingredient foods. And when you're on the 10-pound takedown, you can eat out of the cookbook. I have a beautiful, beautiful 2-pound 4th edition Code Red cookbook. It's got a picture of me and Miles on the front. It's freaking amazing. I think it's $30. I think it has over 300 recipes in it. Like, it's amazing. It's perfect for the challenge. But when you get on a home study program where you get your customized numbers, we don't want you doing recipes because it complicates things too much, and we need to make things clear. Single ingredient foods only, and you're gonna just cruise through your weight loss. But people don't. They want to make it fancy, and they want to have all fancy, and they get all complicated, and we find people run into problems.
Yeah, clear, not complicated. It's a great way to go.
Listen, I know this is a little bit shorter than usual, but we've got to get rocking and rolling, guys. We hope you enjoyed this episode of Rebel Weight Loss and Lifestyle. Clear over clever. Don't get clever in your life. Don't get clever with the way you dress. Keep it simple. Dress for your body type. Keep your makeup clear. Keep your child raising, your marriage, your relationship with Christ, your weight loss. Like, look, keep it all simple. Don't try to get overcomplicated. Don't try to get clever. And we'll see you on the next episode. Thank you, guys. Hey, I'm Cristy Code Red, and thank you for listening to Rebel Weight Loss and Lifestyle. If you want to stay connected to other rebels like you, join us in our private network. Our Code Red app is a one-stop shop, free from ads, algorithms, and censorship, and a place where you can see, listen, and watch everything Code Red. You'll be encouraged, motivated, and fired up to stay on track with your healthy lifestyle. Get recipe ideas, tips, tricks, and help from coaches, mentors, and other rebels. You can also purchase products, programs, and coaching all right there in one place. And if you have any trouble navigating the app, we're right there to help you. Go to coderedlifestyle.com/APP to join for free. And I'll see you on the next episode of Rebel Weight Loss and Lifestyle.